How much? We've got to be able to do better than that. There is only a few materials to this project. Of course, there's a mirror. I went with a round mirror to stay more on style, and it's also going to be a lot easier to put the spoons around the edge. You could use a different shape if you like, just keep in mind it might be a bit awkward adding those spoons. I also used a piece of cardboard that I just got from an old box, some rope, of course plastic spoons. I went with both teaspoons and tablespoons to give a little bit of variation to the sizes. I'm going to hang mine on the wall with command strips just to keep that simple, but you could use a more traditional mirror hanger if you like. And then of course it's just the choice of paint. I went with a metallic rose gold. Now, like the materials, there's only a few tools that you need for this one. You're going to need a glue gun, a pair of scissors, a pen for marking out, and a tape measure will come in handy as well. So the first step is to mark around the mirror to give me an outline as a guide. I can then use the tape measure to mark 75mm points all around the edge. This just gives me a few marks to use as a border, and I can now mark a larger circle to form the outer edge. The 75mm border should give me enough space for 4 rows of spoons. The spoons are going to sit around the edge. Now, I decided to cut off the handles. Now, I have seen designs out there where the handles are incorporated as well, but I'm going to cut the handles off the spoons and I'm going to have them sitting around the edge. Now, cutting the teaspoons I found really awkward. I think it's obviously because of the size. Whenever I was cutting them, there was quite a strong chance that they would split. But I kind of got a technique down in the end, and it was more of a rocking motion. So I kind of rocked the handle a little bit as I cut, and that seemed to work a lot better. Once I did manage to get the actual bowl of the spoon cut off, I then just needed to cut the little edges on the sides so it would sit flat. The tablespoons was a lot easier to cut. There was much more robust, much less likely to split on me, but again I cut those edges just so it would sit flush on the flat surface. All in, I cut about 120 spoons. I didn't quite use them all, but it worked out to roughly 30 spoons per layer, and I was going with 4 layers. There were some breakages, it was really unavoidable, but there wasn't that many all in all. I'm going to put these broken pieces and the handles to one side to hopefully use on a future project. If you've got any ideas for what I could do with them, please do let us know in the comments, because I'd love to use these up. Uri Geller's got nothing on me. Now we've got all the teaspoons cut, it's just a case of gluing them in place. A blob of hot glue really is all you need, but do be careful of the hot glue. You don't want to get it stuck to you and burning your fingers, so just keep that in mind. I just really worked my way around the edge that I'd marked around the mirror. That works as a great guide, and it just gives you a bit of a reference for each spoon that you add in place. I used the teaspoons first, and I went all the way around the perimeter until I got a completed border. Once the teaspoons was in place, I could add the tablespoons in place next. Again, a dab of hot glue is all that's needed to hold them in place, but I tried to line them up so they would sit half and half behind the spoons on the row in front. The second row of tablespoons gets attached in exactly the same way with hot glue, and these again sit roughly half and half behind the row in front. And I did the exact same thing for the third row of tablespoons. This gives me 4 rows of spoons in total, but you could add as many rows as you like. I could imagine this being a massive piece, just completely dwarfing a wall, but it's completely up to you how many rows you do. Just keep adding spoons until it looks right to you. Now, to tidy up the cut edges that you can see on the border, I'm going to add some rope. I think this is a really simple way to hide these edges, but you could add things like beads and gems and all sorts. I thought rope was just the simplest method, so I attached that with some hot glue all the way around the perimeter, and I ended up doing 2 layers. With the rope glued in place, I did my best to remove all the kind of hot glue spider webs that you inevitably get. I did my best at trying to clean it up. There was a few left over, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to notice them. So just keep looking, keep checking, clean them up as best as you can, and then it's ready for paint. Like I say, I went with the metallic rose gold paint. I think it ended up looking more plum or pinky than I was expecting. And in the light, it almost looks as if there's bits of silver in there too. But again, you can go with any colour you like. Just use really light coats. I built up 3 layers and that should do the trick. When the paint was dry, it's just a case of gluing the mirror in place. And again, I used hot glue. Plenty of hot glue in the centre, and pushing the mirror in place holds it securely. After a quick clean to remove the fingerprints, it's just a case of putting the command strips on the back and hanging it on the wall. I'm actually really surprised with how this turned out. I was a bit dubious about it, adding all plastic spoons. I didn't think it'd look very good in the end at all, but as soon as that paint went on, I think it just tied it all together and it's a really good effect. I hope you do give this one a go, because it does look really strange, I know, using hot glue and plastic teaspoons, but I think you'll agree the effect in the end, it really is quite eye-catching. And at the end of the day, it's a lot better than paying those prices. I really hope you like it, and I hope you give it a go for yourself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the bell icon as well. That way you'll get notifications as soon as we upload a new video. Thank you all for watching.